Join us each Saturday for the Justice is Here podcast, an innovative, revolutionary podcast that speaks to justice for all party members across America. We'll speak to leadership, we'll speak to activists, and most of all, we want to hear your opinion. So if you're tired of the two-party system and how it doesn't work for you, tune into this podcast to learn how we can take back the justice that we deserve. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Just want to say let me first start off by saying welcome to the Justice is Here podcast. So very, very happy that everybody's here. Yes, we know what you're waiting for. We'll get to that a little bit later, but of course, I have some things I want to talk about first before we get started with that. First, I want to thank everybody that took part in some way with the fundraising weekend that we had. We had a lot of fun. We started off my week started off Thursday. With the phone banking training that I did on Thursday. Then Friday, we kicked it off with Timothy and Catherine, who took part in our 80s trivia. Then yesterday, we did with Winter and Timothy our virtual scavenger hunt. And tonight, of course, we conclude with our interview with Dr. West, which will be coming up here shortly. I have had a fantastic time. I've had a lot of fun. But after this, I'm going to take a rest for a couple of days, get myself recharged up, get ready to go. But I just had to take this time to thank everyone that took any part in this weekend. Another one is coming up later on in 2026. So be on the lookout for that. But like I said, I had to thank everybody that took some part in this. The vision was there. But again, to the people that watched live yesterday, to the people that watched live Friday, that watched live Saturday, and going to watch live tonight. Thank you so very much. Just wanted to, again, just take this time to say a big old thank you very, 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 very much. We're going to get started while we wait for Dr. West to come in. First of all, mark your calendars, and here we are. Mark them now. Let's see. Hold on a second here. You'll see that. I'm still sitting here with. This is real. Okay, no, that's not what I want to do. There are let me think about this. Okay, so there are 205 days until this very important date that I left up here on purpose. It is our JFA convention, the very first convention that we're going to have held in the lovely city of Columbus, Ohio. Mark your calendars, mark them now. 205 days to go. Hit that subscribe button. Hit it, smash it, obliterate it. Let's get this party started. I'm at 389. I still want to hit 1,000 before this year ends. I don't know how close I'll get to making that, but help me to get to 1,000. That would be very helpful if you hit that subscribe button. I see quite a few of you are watching because, of course, you're waiting on the interview, and I am too. But we hopefully won't be waiting too much longer. But, of course, this will help me get all these announcements out of the way. And then once Dr. West arrives, we can settle in for the interview. But hit that subscribe button. Remember to make a donation. The whole purpose of this weekend is to raise money for the convention. Our goal is to raise $100,000. Go to jfaconvention.com/donate-1. That's jfaconvention.com/donate-1 to make your donation. Any donation of $5. Let me start out this way. Any donation of any size is greatly appreciated. Everything we raise this weekend will be going to make that convention a success that I know it will be. Let's move on down here to help us fuel the movement for just if I could read. Help us fuel the movement for truth, justice, and love. Step up as a fundraising captain. We are looking for 2 to 3. If you have 2 to 3 hours to spare a week, please go to that. I'm going to leave it up just a little bit so that you all can take that down and sign up. Like I said, it's only 2 to 3 hours a week. And I'm still going to leave it up to give you time to get a pencil and a piece of paper. Hello, Tobias. I haven't seen you in a while. I have not seen you in a while. So glad that you're here. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and support on Patreon. Welcome. Oh, sorry. If I could read. Wonderful time. Thank you, Tracy. You're welcome, Nelson. So while we are waiting, you might want to put in some questions that you think that I would like to ask. I pretty much know what I'm going to ask. So I'm just kind of waiting until I see Dr. West's face on the other screen to bring him on here. So anything that you want me to ask will be very good. I'm still waiting here. So we'll hopefully get this done this evening. I am trying to do something else here. Okay. Let's see. Yep, just put those questions in the comment section. And I'm just waiting for you to put those questions in the chat section. What is it that you want me to ask? Any concerns you want me to raise? Any Oh, hi, Nicholas. How are you? Hello, Tracy. Glad you're able. Glad. If I could read today, this would just be so great. If I could just learn how to read tonight. Hello, Tracy. Glad to be able to tune in. Would love to find out what Dr. West thinks about Zohran Mandavi's recent historic win in New York. I can tell you what I think about it. But yes, that was one of the questions I planned on asking. Probably do that at the top. Still just kind of sitting here waiting just to we know what's on this calendar. We do know that. So any questions you guys want me to ask, although that one by Nick I was going to ask anyway. Let's see. Trying to see, is there a message on my phone? I know Fatima asked me for a question, and I'm going to ask it tonight. I have my questions. So we're just gonna play here today. I do want to, while we're waiting for Dr. West to join us, let me make sure I sent the right link. Let me see, because sometimes I do that, but I don't think I did in this case. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay. So that's me. Well, that didn't go well. Let's see. We're going to remove. Just want to make sure I was sending the right link. I'm like, okay, why won't it go away? Yeah, it won't go away. You see that? Tobias wants to know, does Dr. West think Democrats will reform towards socialism in the next midterms? They'll say they will, but of course you're not asking me, you're asking Dr. West. So thank you for that. Keep the questions coming. We got a couple more minutes. I thank everybody for their patience. I just wanted to make sure I was sending the right link, which I definitely was. So we know my issue isn't on my end. We know Dr. West is very, 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 very busy. So we appreciate his willingness to come on here and speak to us. We'll give it a few more moments here, and I'll remove myself in a bit. I'll give it another 15 if it doesn't come on, but I'm not gonna take y'all down. Let me see something here. I know what I could do in the meantime. Everybody keep your questions coming. I still have the book Democracy Matters by Cornel West. It would be awesome if I could get it. You know what, Nelson? That is a great question to ask. Okay, I'll remember that one. For you, did you catch that W for Green Bay today? Love leads the way to another. I thought he had a concussion. Did he have a concussion today? I know we're not talking about football today, but I thought Love was out with a concussion. So he did play, because I literally thought they were checking him for concussion protocol. Might have been the wrong one. So we're still waiting. Okay. We gon' everybody just come in with your fantastic questions. We're still waiting here for Dr. West to come in. I will show you all the website. I think that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'll bring that up here just to fiddle around. So what I'm gonna do is try to bring this up. We can have a strong wave of socialized democracy depending. Again, I'm going to learn how to read. We could have a strong wave of socialized democracy depending on those that would pick up the torch and run with it. Thank you, Nelson. That's a great comment. I just got to learn to slow myself down. I think that's the problem is I'm reading too fast and that's making me stumble over words. I'm trying to bring up the JFA website in the background just to kind of show you all it. And be sure to visit the website at jfaconvention.com. So I'm going to put myself on mute while I'm showing it. Well, no, I'm going to take myself down for a sec. Do not tune away. I'm going to show you all the website, and we're going to just go from here. Okay, so we're going to share a screen, and we're going to go here. And you see the site. I'll let you all look at it. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to remove myself for a second here. Good evening, Dr. West.
How you doing? You know, I had it for 8 o'clock, and I just looked on my thing. It says 6:55. I said, "How in the world did I wrote it down from Brother Israel?" He said 8 o'clock, Sister Tracy.
And it's 7. I gave the wrong time. It was me.
Is that right? Well, I just want to apologize because I come slipping in and tumbling in and stumbling and limping in. I said, Lord,
just glad
8 p.m. Sister Tracy, justice for all. Lord.
I'm glad you're here because I don't think I could pull off a whole show by myself. So no, I'm glad you're here. Very glad you're here.
I'm just blessed to be here. Now the thing is, should I turn this up because it's I don't hear you that good. You got yours up as high as it is?
Yeah, I surely do. I can hear you just fine.
You can hear me all right?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Let's see.
Now I can see you.
I can hear you enough, though. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So the guest of the hour is here. We've got a lot of stuff to do, but Dr. West, I'm going to ask a favor of you right off the top. I need you to get a pencil and a piece of paper.
Oh, I should get one?
Yes, you need to get one.
And a piece of paper.
Or something that you take notes. Some people do it on their phones, but I'm so old school. I still get out of, when I want to remember something, I get a pencil and a piece of paper and I start writing.
I hear you. All right.
Because that way I'm able to commit it to my memory.
All righty.
So I want you to write down the dates of June the 10th, June the 11th, and June the 12th, 2026. And the city is going to be Columbus, Ohio. And the occasion is the Justice for All Convention.
Oh, Lord. Lord. Columbus, Ohio, June 10th, 11th, 12th, 2026.
Yes. In the lovely city of Columbus, Ohio.
Lord, right on. I was just in Columbus a couple of weeks ago at Ohio State.
Yes. We've been doing, as a committee member of the convention committee, we've done a lot. We still have a lot of work to do. And heads up, you'll be getting a letter to ask you to speak. So just know it's coming. But I just wanted to give you those 3 dates. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you.
I'm going to write it in my black book rather than just a regular piece of paper. You know what I mean?
Okay, that works for me.
I think that's even better because, and it's really the 10th through the 12th.
In Columbus, Ohio. I can even tell you the location of the facility.
Sure enough.
It is at the Junto Hotel.
How you spell that?
J as in January, U as in umbrella, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, O as in Oscar.
Junto Hotel.
It is not corporate owned. It is their socially active hotel within the city.
That's beautiful.
So we're going to have a great time.
That's beautiful.
And if you didn't know, this is you are the conclusion of our fundraising weekend. Our goal is to raise $100,000.
Wow.
To pay for the expenses of the convention. So Thursday, I started off with the phone bank training. Friday, we did 80s trivia. Yesterday, we did a virtual scavenger hunt, and you're concluding it today.
Wow. Wow. You are on it, though. Well, you and the others, because I had a wonderful dialogue with the fantastic group of folk there. That must have been about 3 weeks ago, maybe.
I was there at the National Committee meeting, yes.
You were there, huh?
I was. I did not show my face because I wasn't looking my best. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to turn the camera on today. I didn't have a choice today, but I
think you look wonderful all the time. But see, Brother Israel didn't turn on his face either the whole time. But you was there because I could hear his voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just sat back and did some observing.
We've got a
lot to talk about. But again, I wanted to make sure you had those dates somewhere where you can remember them, because I'm like, because again, we're just playing. We are so super excited to see you at that very, very first convention.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that we're getting the message of truth, justice, and love out to as many people as we possibly can. And you will hear me throughout the show. I'm telling you now, and telling the audience now, you will hear me talk about donating. Nobody is getting rich off of the convention committee. Trust me.
That's right.
I've been there since, when did we start meeting? July of this year. And we're almost into next year. So those contributions of $5, $10, $15, $25, they all help. So let's get to our very first question. Nicholas had this. I was asking the audience for questions. He wants to know, and I'm curious of this, what do you make of the Zoran Madami win in New York City?
Well, one, of course, I'm right here in New York. I'm overlooking Harlem, and I'm blessed to be here. And I was very much a critical supporter of my dear brother Zoran. He certainly was a zillion times better than the other ones who were running. There's Cuomo on the one hand and Curtis Lewa on the other. I've never met the brother. I don't know him. I have great respect for his father, who was, of course, one of the great revolutionary intellectuals that come out of Uganda. But I've never met Brother Zoran at all. And it's clear that, he ran a superb campaign in terms of being able to push back the oligarchs and able to hold a large enough coalition together. My reluctance to give him the kind of full-fledged endorsement is that I think that he still has what I would call an immigrant orientation. So when you hear in his speech, he said America is a nation of immigrants. And I don't believe that. I think that if you got indigenous people, no way immigrants, you can't have a nation without the land and the genocide against them. The slave ships that were barbaric that brought my folk over here, you can't call them immigrants. And it was our labor, which was the economic foundation of the nation. So I think that immigrants have made a major and crucial contribution, but that does not mean that America is a nation of immigrants. When he said it over and over again, I don't like that kind of language because it shows a settler mentality. And the same is true with the policies that he's pushing. I support the policies wholeheartedly, but one of the crucial factors, especially for myself coming out of the Black freedom tradition, is I want to know what the situation of the police is going to be. Who controls the police? Because historically, it's been the police that has zeroed in on us, and it's been the police that set back when the vigilantes zero in on us. And there was one major request that the billionaires and the ruling class and the power elite made to his campaign, which was that he would keep the same police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, whose family owns the largest real estate development in Manhattan, worth $15 billion. She lives in a $12 million apartment. And I'd gone to jail a number of times struggling against stop and frisk and what have you. And she's been very open to that because she was the police commissioner under Eric Adams. Eric Adams brought stop and frisk back with a smile. And so that was one of the major points that we marched against Eric Adams precisely because of that. So when the Wall Street billionaires and others asked Brother Zoran to keep the police commissioner, and he did before he even won. He had promised him before he even won. That was the promise he got from Hakeem Jeffries too. And which was, leader of the establishment in the Democratic Party, waited till the last minute to endorse him. But that was one of the demands. And so when he gave in to that, again, that affects Black people and brown people, but especially Black people disproportionately. And so the problem is that the bus is running fast and free. That's beautiful. Universal child care, that's beautiful. 5 city-run groceries in each borough. That's about as symbolic as it gets. 5 groceries. Good God, you got hundreds and hundreds in each community. But that I still support that. But even the rent stabilization, you see, doesn't really affect the brothers and sisters in the projects. You see, so that affects primarily those people who have come into New York and had their rents exponentially increase. So even that has a gentrifying sensibility. because you're speaking to the gentrifiers. In the last 25 years, half a quarter of black people have been pushed out of New York. And so they had to deal with the gentrifiers. The gentrifiers are major sources of Brother Zoran's base, including DSA. And so what happens is that as much as I support him, and I had to cut against the grain in the black community, because a lot of black communities just called his whole campaign, they called it team gentrification. And so, I had to acknowledge the critique and tell them that he's still better than Cuomo, he's still better than Sliwa. But I still have my own critique from the vantage point of the Black Freedom Movement. And as you know, I always look at the world through the lens of the Black Freedom Movement. I'm unapologetic about that. I embrace other freedom movements. Yes. Trade union movement, yes, when it's progressive and not racist. The feminist movement, yes, when it's progressive and not racist, and so forth. The ecological movement, absolutely, but I'm not going to just be silent when black folk get either left out or just an afterthought. Same is true with his team. You see, he has very, very few black folk at the highest level in his team. And so I'm not really in the representation. As you know better than I, my dear sister. You can have black folk at the top and still don't speak the truth and get cowardly. But it does help to have some black folk with integrity as part of your team, so that they would let you know. Don't get up there and give a speech talking about New York was built by immigrants, a nation built by immigrants. We're a nation of immigrants. Hey, no. That's saying you're gonna sing a song in C sharp and end up singing in C. You got something against the black keys? What you got against the black keys? Hey, come on.
Those are the keys that make the music sound good.
Exactly. At least those are the blue notes that's gonna give it some flavor. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I've talked about this on just a couple of occasions. I just did this interview on India and the global left, where I was able to go into it in detail. And thank God we have a chance now too. This is the second. No, I think I did it on Tavis's show too, last week on Tavis's show. But I've always been a strong critical endorser of his campaign. But we have to always put it in context. See, the other side of this thing is that when you run on as a socialist, it can be very misleading for people if your platform is really liberal social programs. So that, for example, when we ran together, I had strong socialist content to my platform. Meaning what? Abolition of poverty, abolition of ICE. The thing about Jessica Tish is, as police commissioner, she provides the data, the surveillance data to ICE. So it's hard to say you're a sanctuary city and you're for the immigrants when you got a police commissioner who's given us surveillance data to ICE to know who to go after. So that's a deep contradiction. But when what we call for the abolition of poverty, the abolition of ICE, and we call for the breaking up of the monopolies, Wall Street, big tech, and so forth. See, that's much more of a socialist-like project. When you buses running fast and free ain't socialist, that's liberals have been doing that for a long time. It's a fine social program. That's like Head Start. I ain't got nothing against Head Start, but that's not a socialist program. You see, city groceries is not a socialist project. You got to go right where the power is. Now, of course, if he had pushed the way we did, he might not have won the election. We understand that, but we're trying to tell the truth. That is a socialist program. So he's running basically on a New Deal liberal program or a LBJ Great Society a platform that has social programs. So that you got to tell the people the truth. You got to tell the people. Now, he has a right to call himself a democratic socialist, but you got to tell the people, just like with Bernie, when I supported Bernie before, and I would get out there, and when I introduced him, I said, everybody know Bernie ain't run on no socialist program. when you talk about Wall Street greed, that's a critique. You're not calling for the breakup of Wall Street monopolies. That's socialist. That's what Eugene Debs was calling for. Now, my dear brother Soren started with Eugene Debs. You know, that's a beautiful thing. When you look at Eugene Debs' project, his brother's calling for the nationalization and the decentralization and democratization of industries across the country. That's
absolutely.
That's Eugene Debs, you see.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
I agree with you, but there's some points that I want to highlight.
Sure.
And this is going to get into my next question.
Absolutely.
Point of reference, anybody that runs with a Democrat, I'm already looking at them like, I don't trust you.
That's true. That's true.
I have a problem, and everybody knows that watches my platform. I've gone on and criticized running as a member of the DSA because that first word in your title is Democrat. In my opinion, you're going to concede to what the Democratic Party wants to do. You're going to bend the knee to what the Democratic Party does. Now, is he better than Cuomo? Yes, I'm better than Cuomo. let's just put it the way it needs to be put.
You far better.
I didn't kill seniors in nursing homes due to COVID. I didn't SA several women. None of those things. Right. I didn't lead to higher taxes. I didn't do any of those things. But what I think is sometimes, especially with the Democrats, they're really good at this, is with this past election, this is the question I want to ask. I'll get to it this way. The Democrats, and I'm including DSA, they have this tendency to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
That's true.
And I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. So we know there was a government shutdown. And we know there were senators in the United States Senate that kept voting not to open it up. And somehow, some way, no thanks to Chuck Schumer, yes, I said it, 8 senators who are not up for re-election, who are already to the right anyway, went ahead to open it. They agreed to a deal that they had 40 days ago. My question to them is, why did you if you're going to take that stand of we're not going to open the government, have the decency to tell the people, this is why we're taking the stand. This is what we're going to do. Don't come back and then agree to something that was there 40 days ago. You might as well just had agreed to it 40 days ago.
That's true.
And to me, I think that's where the Justice for All party has to be different. We cannot snatch defeat when victory is literally right there. All the Democrats had to do was stay on their message. They had several victories. They had victories in Mississippi, which nobody's talking about. They had victories in Virginia, New Jersey. Stay with that vein, but then, what they do? They find defeat and say, we embrace that. We have to be the party that does not embrace defeat.
That's exactly right. And for me, that means that we are a party that has backbone, that has moral consistency and political courage. And we say we say what we mean what we say, and we look at the world through the lens of poor and working class peoples. One of the reasons why the Democratic Party is so thoroughly untrustworthy is because that big money is always kicking in. The lobbyists are always kicking in. They'll say one thing and do something else the next day or the next week. That just means they have no backbone. They have no institutional integrity.
Absolutely.
And that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. And I want everybody to keep this in mind. When they're saying they're fighting for your health care, they're essentially fighting to give big insurance companies tax breaks. That's not the fight. The fight is Medicare for all. That's the fight.
That's precise.
And I don't want people to be fooled by that. And pardon my language, I do not cuss, but the Affordable Care Act is garbage. It is positively garbage.
Well, we know it comes out of the Heritage Foundation, which is a deeply conservative institution. We know it was modeled on Mitt Romney's program, and who's Republican governor of Massachusetts. And when the Democratic Party says we are so fundamentally committed to making sure that people have access to their health care, we say 70% of the people want single-payer health care. They won't move. Why? Because the pharmaceutical companies and the big organizations tied to big medical industry has got a noose around their neck. So that when they talk about they're so committed to the healthcare coverage for everybody, it's just a lie. They're not telling the truth.
And that's where I can't with the media, because they're framed, they care about your healthcare. And I'm like, no, if they cared about my healthcare, they would be advocating instead of just doing what the Congressional Black Caucus does. And yes, I'm calling the Congressional Black Caucus off. I'm not afraid of any of them. I'll talk to them anytime, any place, anywhere. Instead of doing what they do in sponsoring legislation, take a page from what the Freedom Caucus did. They withheld their vote until they got what they wanted. You do that, I can support that.
That's it. And the Black Caucus got 62 members. You would never know it because they're so milquetoast and spineless. But they're part of a milquetoast and spineless Democratic Party, most of them. And so it's that milquetoastness and spinelessness, of course, cuts across race in the Democratic Party. And all of the excitement now, around Brother Zoran, like somehow he's going to push the party to the left. I mean, the neo-fascists in the Republican Party, they want to cast him as a public face because they call him a communist and a socialist.
At the same time,
he's still on the fringes, but he is a member of the party, and he's very much a loyalist. And of course, once he started having those dialogues with Obama, and once David Axelrod shows up and has dialogue with his staff and all of his counselors and so forth, you can see the establishments in the Democratic Party, the neoliberals in the Democratic Party, trying to seduce Brother Zoran already.
I think they started well before, because it was evident to me. I don't live in New York. I don't have any skin in the game, but it was evident he was going to win. Andrew and the other person who's I can't not think of his name. You just said it. The Republican person. I'm like, you're there, like you're running. Yes.
Sleeway or something like that.
Yes, you're there, but really, New York is a blue city. So you really didn't have a chance. To me, I think they started. I think what they do is what we don't want to do is they started early. And that here comes my next question. And of course, I got to ask you. Well, no, I'm going to ask you first about what's going on here in Indiana.
Ooh.
So Indiana has the worst governor in the United States. I don't care. I will literally argue with anybody. We have the worst governor. He is Trump's puppet. Whatever Trump says, he does. He wants to cut funding for autism.
Wow.
He wants to cut Medicaid. He wants to have a 3-year requirement that you can only be on Medicaid for 3 years, and that's it.
Wow.
He called a special session after saying that he wouldn't call a special session to redistrict Indiana. And there were 2 places that he wanted to redistrict, which I thought was kind of funny. One would be the city of Gary, and one would be the city that I live in, Indianapolis. Now, what those 2 cities have in common is this. they both have large Black populations.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I have to give credit to the citizens of Indiana. We really united across party lines and flooded those phones and said, you better absolutely not vote for this. And those Republican, because Indiana has 80% of Indiana senators are Republican. 80%. So we all thought, oh, this is going to pass. They're going to redistrict. This is what they're going to do. And they voted no. Not because they're kind, not because they think this is right. They did it out of convenience. Because the voters made it clear. And this is where my question is. You vote for this, and when 2026 comes, we're not voting for you. Wow. And this is where my question comes in. Can you talk about the power of the people? Like, if we could do that in Indiana, a heavy Republican state. Like I said, they didn't vote against it because they're thinking, gee, this is just the right thing to do. And this is just the greatest. We're just, look at this. This is, no, they did it because they got afraid. How can we make these legislators like, when they hear justice for all, I want them to get scared. I want them to have fear in their hearts because we're coming to change the things that need to be changed.
Well, that's what organized people, that's the difference organized people make. That when you present that kind of pressure on to people who have come together, and that's what you all did in the state of Indiana, right? You had organized people, and they looked and said, oh my God, no matter how much organized money they had access to, they still saw organized people, and they had to make a choice. And something like this is just so gross, though. I think that I can understand that, and thank God that you all were able to put this kind of pressure to bear, because we've got organized people around single health care, but the organized money still pushes back because it doesn't put fear in the politicians. But organized people is a precondition. It is prerequisite for putting that kind of fear in the hearts of the politicians. But so many of these politicians are just bought off, my dear sister. It's legalized bribery. We have to call it for what it is. It really is. It's normalized corruption and legalized bribery. And the money speaks loud, very, very loud. And people want to stay in office. And so they usually lean toward the money. But in this case, you all pulled it off in a beautiful way.
I was very shocked. I thought, oh, this is going to happen. Because, I live in the 7th District of Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. And my seat, the congressperson that holds my seat is Andre Carson. So he's been there like 13 years or something like that. Wow. And when you talk about Indianapolis, you're talking about a city that has 30% Hispanic, 33% Black people, 40%. Well, it's highly concentrated non-white, and it was going to be interesting to see how they were going to draw that up to get Democrats out of there, because that's their goal. Well, no. The goal is because, and I'll say it, this is my show, I'll say what I want. Trump is in the Epstein files. This is what this whole thing is about, because he knows there's a wave coming. There's no way he could not know this. He knows, oh, well, let me stop it. Let me make sure I don't get impeached. So I'm going to do this. Why Brom continues to be Trump's puppet and says that the Democrats are controlling Indiana. Indiana hasn't had a Democratic governor since Evan Bayh, and I was in high school. Wow. Now, you can look at me and tell I haven't been in high school in a while.
No, you looking
in a while. It's been some years. It's been some years since I was in the high school age. But again, I think I understand what you're talking about, big money, but what I want to emphasize is people power.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, yes, they have money. But look what happened in Zoran's case, in Mayor Mondami's case. Money was against him. Of course, he had 50,000 volunteers to door knock. But either way, organizing worked because the people set their minds to making it work. And I think that's the conversation we need to have is how do we get people to realize, yes, you can make a difference. Your phone call, your threatening to withhold your vote makes a difference.
Absolutely. Now, Brother Zoran, he had 100,000.
Oh, 100,000.
Yes, he did.
It wasn't 50. Oh my goodness.
It was 100,000 out on the streets. Absolutely. I mean, he had some decent money, but they had, 45, almost 50 million. He had a few million, but he had 100,000 folk on the streets, and about 70% of them were under 30. See, so you got a generational phenomenon going on here. A very wonderful, magnificent, marvelous generational thing. That just something like 30% of the people who voted had never voted before. It's the kind of thing that we talked about in our campaign, that we were reaching out to people who had given up on the system, given up on voting participation, given up on being citizens who actually cast ballots. You know what I mean? And so he got a huge hunk, most of them very young, and New York City is very young. In New York City, it's 40% first generation immigrants. So he got a lot of those immigrants who had said they wouldn't vote, they would never vote, but they voted for him, which is beautiful. And that's why he has a right to thank them and embrace them. But when he thanks them and embraces them, that doesn't mean you got to leave out Black folk and indigenous people. Yes,
exactly.
As a leader, as a leader, Black folk gave him about 50% of the vote, which was low. We should have given him about 80% if he had come through the way he should have in his language and analysis. But it was still very low for Black folk. Usually Black folk give a Democrat, 75, 80, 85. He just got 50%.
Yep. And Fatima, who is on the convention, I don't know if I mentioned I'm on the convention committee. She said, make sure, and I told her I would do this.
Sure now.
She wants you to talk about, let me get this up here so I can make sure I do this right away. She wants you to talk about liberty and justice for all.
Yes. And that for all really means for all. Historically, people have always talked about for all, but tend to exclude Black folk and indigenous peoples. And if you're really going to be for all, you're going to have to start on the chocolate side and then embrace everybody. Because the dominant language of for all means universalism for everybody, but these people over here left out. So for all, for us, is a moral and spiritual issue. We're concerned about humanity. We're concerned about human beings. We're concerned about poor and working people catching hell. And we're concerned about the accountability of the rich, wealthy, and powerful. Those are all moral stances that have political consequences. So we're not abstract moralists thinking it's just a matter of morality going to change the world. No, we're not naive like that. We're not in the kumbaya zone at all. No, we know it's conflict. We know it's struggle. But that doesn't mean we lose our moral integrity. And moral integrity means we're concerned for all. We want justice for all. We want liberty, freedom for all. That's the legacy of Frederick Douglass. That's the legacy of Ida B. Wells Barnett. That's the legacy of Martin King, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Ella Baker. That's where we come from. Now, on the other hand, it also means that we're unashamed of acknowledging that we want to make sure the police have accountability. We want to cut back on police brutality, police murder. We want to make sure that poverty is a crucial issue. So we're not just talking about some little programs that might touch it here or there. We want to abolish it across the board. It can be done if it were made a priority.
And Fatima, you cannot say I didn't address your question. I addressed your question.
I send my love and respect to my dear sister. Is she right there in Indiana?
She is in Georgia.
Oh, she's in Georgia.
Yeah, she is in Georgia.
Oh, in ATL A-Town.
I think she lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
Because, see, there's only 3 of us on the committee. Yeah, I'm going to mention this. We do need more committee members. There's me. There's Philip. He's in Arkansas. And then there's Fatima. She's in Georgia. I think she's in Atlanta. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And Philip is a wonderful brother, too.
Timothy and Nelson have a question, and I'm going to make their question one question.
Sure.
So, Timothy says 470 congressional seats are up in 2026, 35 Senate seats, 435 House seats. Can you think of any good reason why most Americans shouldn't support the Justice for All party in all 470 seats? Here is the second part that I want to emphasize. In order to have truth, justice, and love success, we need to start getting our candidates rolling out ASAP.
Well, I mean, I think that's very good reason for us to have the high quality candidates in each and every district. It's just a matter of having a strong enough organization and infrastructure to facilitate that, to make that possible. So that when he says, well, as soon as possible, I mean, my hunch is that one of the roles and functions of our meeting in Columbus, Ohio in June is to talk precisely about how do we facilitate that kind of process. Now, it is very difficult to have enough money, resources, funds, and to have 470 candidates. I'm with that in terms of aspiration. I know how difficult it is in terms of execution, but we shall see. We're leaving the door open. We shall see. I mean, we're at a moment now, especially with the possibility of illegal, immoral war against Venezuela. The genocide is really still going on in Gaza. You got over 272 precious Palestinians who've been killed since the ceasefire. That doesn't sound like a ceasefire for me. So we don't know what's going to be going on the international front. There could be escalating wars. And what would that show? That would show both parties complicitous again. So people would be more open to third parties like Justice for All. But we just don't know. But we'll just be out there telling our truths and bearing witness.
I see where you're going. However, I don't want to be Debbie the Downer. Okay, so this is what I say. Mm-hmm. I'm 99% in agreement. Here comes the however portion of me. Absolutely. And everybody, I want you to listen to this statement. I am absolutely not running for office. I'm telling you now, I don't want to run. You all know I have some concerns about me running. However,
you never know.
No, because I have this one problem, Dr. West. You don't know this. I have a very smart mouth. And when I say smart mouth, I literally mean smart mouth.
That's like good.
It's not good.
How come?
It's something I need to work on. I'm very blunt.
No, but that just means you're a truth seeker and a truth teller.
I'm going to say no, because I don't think I'm the best person. I think it takes a skill that I don't have.
But let me say this. You are a truth seeker and a truth teller. I can testify to that. Now, you saying now, okay, I'm that, but there's certain skills that I don't think I have enough of in order to run for office as a truth seeker and a truth teller. Then I said, okay, well, man, then,
because I have no patience. Everybody that knows me knows I'm not patient. I never pray for patience because I know God will give it to me, and I'm not sure I want it. Like, I'm just not sure, because I want things to happen, even though logically I know God's timing is different than mine. I have to wait. When he says it, that's when it'll be. I struggle with waiting and planning and all those things, because I want Medicare for all today. I don't want to wait. We've been waiting for this 100 years. Why are we waiting? That's my attitude. But I say this to people out there that are thinking about running. We're in the process of forming state committees. No, Robin, I'm going to disagree with this because Robin knows my bluntness. I am extremely, like, if you think Trump just says anything, Trump's no match for me. Like, literally, he's not. Like, if it's in my brain, it's coming out of my mouth.
But think about this. Think about this, my dear sister. The great Fannie Lou Hamer would speak from her heart, mind, and soul. She gets on television. I question America. I question whether America has a commitment to my black folk in Mississippi. And everybody say, oh, she's speaking too bluntly. She's speaking too directly. No, Fannie Lou Hamer was a truth seeker and a truth teller just like you. And
I don't know if I'm comfortable putting myself in the ranks of Fannie Lou Hamer.
Well,
that's money
in terms of being a truth seeker and a truth teller. Now, the Fannie Lou Hamer is much deeper than all of us in terms of her courage, the consistency of her willingness to sacrifice, because she just sets the highest standard. But just in terms of that feature that we talking about, truth seeker, truth teller. And then when you come back to me and you say, well, oh, Brother West, I might be too blunt. Was Fannie Lou Hamer blunt? Lord have mercy, yes.
But she better than me. She's better than me.
Oh, she better than me too. She better than me too.
I know. And the reason I say I don't want to run, I don't. Because basically, if God says, Tracy, run, then I'm running. I'm absolutely positively. I haven't heard him say run, so that's my 99%.
Yeah, you don't know what the Lord wants. You don't know. This is November 1/7. And the Lord has not yet spoken to Sister Tracy. Does that mean the Lord will not speak? We don't know.
Well, we want him to tell me something different, because I'm not trying to hear that right now.
But I understand. But I do understand, because the beautiful thing is that you just got such wonderful love in your heart and brilliant intellect in your mind, and that's a magnificent combination.
Man, I don't have money to give you. Stop giving me these compliments. I don't have money to pay you.
I'm telling the truth.
I don't have money to pay you. But what I'm getting at is, if I were gonna do it, not saying I'm gonna do it, but if I were gonna do it, I believe in building coalitions.
Yes.
I believe in, don't just show up. This is what the Democrats do that agitates you. They'll wait right good till 2 months before the election. Oh, let me go to every church in the community when you should have been doing that anyway.
That's true.
What would you say? How can I frame this question? Because I didn't mean to get on a tirade about why I won't run for office. But there are several more reasons. I'm not college educated. Blah, 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 blah.
Fannie Lou Hamer didn't go to college, but the college went through her.
I know, but I'm just like, ugh. There's so many hesitations that I have. I know people have told me to do this. I'm like, I just don't see it. Maybe in 2 to 3 years, because we've got some people in Indiana. I'm like, they need to go. They gotta go.
But you would have to admit, though, that you would be qualitatively different and better than all of the politicians right now in Indiana. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, because I woke up. I mean, anybody.
But that's a fact. Already, your shoulders above them right there. You see what I mean? Your shoulders above them.
Yeah.
But we're gonna pray on it. We ain't gonna force.
I ain't gonna say. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm gonna pray over it. I'm just gonna say he gonna have to directly be like, Tracy, this is what I want you to, just like he did for the Medicare March for All that I planned. That was a specific command. I literally heard God say, plan a march, and I had never planned one, and that's what I did. It would have to be that direct, like run for office. It had to be the office. Tell me what office. Tell me what year. I'm like, I want all the details. He knows my heart. No, I didn't go to that old church Islam. I went to the old church.
Well, the wonderful thing about the God I serve is that God is unpredictable and not under our control.
Absolutely. But as clear as I heard that commandment, I would have to hear it. And I haven't heard it. And it could be,
no, I can
yeah, I don't want to hear it.
I understand. Absolutely. But I don't worry about it. I don't rush the Lord. You know what I mean? I don't.
I'm not gonna say I don't, because I be trying. I'm like, okay, now.
Right.
Get Trump out now, because I can't no more with him.
Here.
I can't.
I'm with you on
that.
Lord,
why? What did we do? And then I think, oh, we did slavery, we did Japanese then I start naming. I'm like, oh, okay. Yep, I see it. Never mind. But what I'm trying to get at is this. When a person is thinking, they're out there, they're kind of like me, they either could do it or they hesitate in running for office.
Right.
What is it that you tell them?
I tell them that as long as you are focusing on the suffering and social misery of precious human beings, and you can be a vessel to make a difference to alleviate some of that suffering, whatever form it takes. It might take the form of running for office. It might take the form of continually to work for justice for all. It might take the form of being organized at the housing association in your neighborhood. It might take the form of playing a certain role in your church or your mosque or your synagogue or your temple. It might take the form of continually to work with the young people or dealing with the precious folk in prison. It takes a lot of different forms. But I do believe that we're at a moment now with the neo-fascists gangsterizing the whole country, that we have to have leaders in the political realm who are willing to be courageous with spine to tell the truth and seek justice for all. That's what our party's about.
Yep. And Left Connect. Hey, Left Connect, it's the third day he's joined us. Thank you. Ask Dr. West how we have a progressive leftist primary before the regular primaries to solidify behind one leftist candidate so that they don't dilute the vote. And I think he's talking about the presidential campaign.
Oh, Lord. Well, I mean, the good news is that for us, for Justice for All, because we don't necessarily have a primary. The primary is tied to the two corporate parties. That we shoot for the main election the way we did last year. That's why we were at it for 17 months straight, non-stop, every day, every week, every month. So we didn't have to worry about primary, you see. Now, if you're talking about primary in the Democratic Party, that's another issue. My profound suspicion of the Democratic Party is such that I think any progressive is a kind of window dressing for the Democratic Party because they don't really embrace them. They're just using them for a certain image of the party. The core of the party is a corporate party, a centrist party, a moderate party that puts the interests of corporations over that of everyday people.
I didn't think about it like that, but you're absolutely right. Here is a question that I want to ask. And it's more of a hypothetical. To the people out there that say, I've never heard the Justice for All party. I don't know what they're talking about. And we go over the history, et cetera, et cetera. How do you, when you go on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, when you appear on those outlets, how do you interject the Justice for All party in a discussion when it's never brought up in the first place?
Yeah, well, one thing is that in those contexts, you try to zero in on the content and substance of the issues rather than try to kind of proselytize or propagate a particular party. Now, it's true that those folk, the Republicans and the Democrats, the whole way in which the television show is structured is that they have Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and then I come in critical of both of them at the same time. That's very, very true. But just my own style. I mean, I don't like to look as if I'm primarily concerned about just trying to push people in a certain direction. I'm trying to get people to think differently. I'm trying to get people to have a different framework, different lens through which they look at things, so that then when we come along with our candidates and with our platform explicit, they're much more open to it. But if I were to get on there and just look like I'm just propagating and pushing, they say, oh, shoot, he just another one of these folk pushing his own little agenda, and they always pushing their agenda. So I just try to show, hey, let's look at these larger frameworks and see how both of these parties fall utterly short. And if they're convinced of that, then they're open to looking somewhere else. Then you get closer to the election, then, like especially as a June and so forth, then you say, oh, what you got to vote. Which way you going? I'm going just to fall. Oh, what just fall? Well, let me explain.
Yep. And Left Connect, you cheated. You cheated, Left Connect. So we are at the section of the convention planning where we're starting to plan out sessions. And this is one that I personally have advocated for. Modern monetary theory. Basically, the government prints its own currency. That's pretty much this. That's a good question, but I don't know whether you would be willing to, because I think you know everything. So I'm
I don't know. I got all kinds of ignorance now.
But
I need to learn.
Yeah, more. I'm like, yeah, Left Connect is kind of cheating because we're going to be talking about I've personally suggested a session on the federal jobs guarantee that kind of ties into MT. So I'm like, well, Left Connect, you're cheating. You're cheating.
Left Connect, that's all right. But you all will teach me. You all will educate me, and I appreciate it.
Okay, so, and then Timothy says JFA party okay, this is another one. So JFA party ad hoc committee on the state, if I could read tonight, JFA party ad hoc committee on state party formation and candidate recruitment would like to have a strategy discussion with you, Brother West. Would you commit to meeting with the committee sometime soon?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so then that means Tracy has a job to do because Tracy's also on that committee.
Oh, you're on that committee too?
Yes, I'm on 2 committees.
Lord have mercy.
And just think about it. When you were on the other show that I did, I was like, I'm tired. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing it. I'm done. This is
it. You were even thinking about not doing the show at all.
I was. I
remember that. You see how the Lord's working? See how the Lord's working?
The audience said, no, keep going. Yeah, they sure did. I was like, I'm done. So me to be on 2 committees, yes, I'm on the state. I'm co-chair of the convention committee, and I'm on the state formation committee. And we do meet and candidate recruitment because that's what we're doing. So,
but when we met with the other committee with Brother Israel and them,
that's the national committee.
That was the 3rd committee that you.
Yes, I'm on that one too. I know. I'm just like, yeah, I'm on that one too.
Good God Almighty.
I know. I'm like, how did they get me? This all started with an idea. Tracy, you got a podcast. You got a YouTube channel. Why don't you have? It just started with that little bitty idea and it's grown into this. But yes, I am on that committee too.
That's a beautiful thing.
But we'll coordinate with, we know how to get in contact with you.
Well, you got my direct number, but then Israel always has a direct number too, either way.
Yep, I know I get a hold of him, which means he'll get a hold of you, and then we'll work it out. But I I do want to ask you a question. I have never asked a guest this. Well, no. Please don't take this question the wrong way.
Sure.
I've always seen you in black and white. Are there other colors like you have in the realm that you wear? Like, do you like wear exercise clothes? Or because I know you're physically fit. Because you're not like me, you don't have lots of weight to lose. So I'm like, well, I know he's physically fit.
Well, I'm blessed. You never know stuff. I got to watch my weight sometime. I can tell you that. But no, the Lord blessed me with a metabolism that I haven't done any exercise since I was 17 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't been in the gym since I was 17.
I've lost a total of 87 pounds over the past year. And I had never worked as hard as, I know people are like, you lost it. Yes, because if you notice, my face is kind of thinner than that first time you interviewed me.
Wow. I thought you looked wonderful then and you look wonderful now.
I was kind of chubby faced then.
No, but 80 pounds.
Yeah, I still got more to go because this is, and I'm telling my weight, this is 208. This is what 208 looks like. My goal is 115.
115? No, that's too small.
See, everybody says that. You're like,
115 too far. Oh, yeah.
That's what my doctor tells me I should weigh. I'm just going by. My goal is 154. Like if I get to 154.
That sounds good. That sounds more. Cool. Absolutely. I think that sounds, because you don't want to get too thin. You won't have enough armor in order to deal with any kind of sickness or illness or something.
Does Dr. West wear any other thing? I've never, because I know you always say your casket ready. I'm like, but you don't exercise. That whole concept is like, I have exercise. Oh my goodness, if I didn't swim and walk and
I've been so blessed though. I was quite an athlete when I was young, but when I left for college, I left college at 17. And the track coach and others begged me at Harvard. When I went to Harvard, I said, no, I'm shifting all my energy into activism and reading and writing and so forth.
I'm just sitting here like, he doesn't act. That whole concept is blowing my mind because of how much weight I've lost and to know the work that I put in to do it.
Lord. Now, granted, I do a lot of walking through airports because I'm at the airport every Wednesday night and then I come back on Sunday. But, Anahita, as you know, her beloved wife and things, she said, honey, she said, you just blessed. The Lord bless you with a metabolism.
He sure did, because I'm like, he should have threw some of that my way, because I haven't worked this hard. I mean, I'm like, okay.
Never, ever, don't run, never been to a gym, never did nothing but just walk through the airport, maybe hit the nightclub there once in a while and break a leg, cut a rug.
What?
That's it.
I have exercised so much.
Really?
And it was really my type 1 diabetes that made me think, but here's another question. This is one I've been wanting to ask you. What is it that you do for fun?
What I'm doing right now?
Talking
to wonderful people
do you play pool, Monopoly, dominoes?
Oh yeah, no, I don't get a chance to do all that though.
Play cards, Uno. I'm like, Uno, Monopoly,
no.
Connect Four.
I teach full time right here in New York City. So I got tomorrow night, I go from 6 to 9. So I'll be reading for another 3-4 hours tonight for class. Then Tuesday night at 6 to 9, and then Wednesday I'll jump on a plane and go to different places. Like I was saying, I was at Ohio State. I went down to Kansas. I just got back from San Jose with the Emoja group, 2,000 wonderful students. And
here's the answer. You listen to jazz music. That's what
you do. Now that's true. I do listen to a lot of jazz now.
See, when I think of fun, I think of 3 or 4 things. Number one, I watch football. If I'm not watching, if I don't get my football fix in, like right after the Super Bowl, because you know this, because I spent a whole long time talking about the game. I was like, this is the defense they're gonna play, and they're gonna do this, and they're gonna do this,
I
they're gonna do this.
remember. I do.
So for me, because I need to out because we deal with so much,
No,
right?
that's true.
It's like a lot on us, and I've always believed that God wants us not to be so heavy burdened all the time. There's a time and a place for everything.
That's true. No, I agree with that. I agree with that, though.
Yeah, I'm like,
definitely. But I do reading now. I try to read a good 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, that counts. That counts. Reading counts.
I'll steal away, and I'll have my text. You see my dear sister right here just waiting for me, Toni Morrison's beloved, because I'm teaching her. And then I got this brother right here that I'm teaching the next day, James Baldwin. And so I get a chance to steal away and read on so many of these texts.
And see my musical taste, they're all over. I like everything. I like everything from black gospel to punk music.
You got cosmopolitan taste.
Yes, I do.
That's
I love
beautiful.
country music.
That's beautiful.
No, wait a minute. Not all country music, because I don't like the modern. I like the fiddle, Dolly Parton type of country music, not whatever this is. But I'm like, what does Dr. West do for fun? Like, what does he do?
But everything I do, I get joy out of it. That's the thing about it.
That's a good thing to learn. Because I'm like, if I'm not watching football or going to see a play or at church, because I spend a lot of time at church, those are pretty much the things I do, and spend time with my family.
No, absolutely. That's joy.
So you don't have the type of family I have. Okay, so the last question. Don't get me wrong. I love my family, but I'm like, y'all all just like me. Ooh, this is me. Okay.
That's
a whole bunch of me.
Family, as you know, family's family. Now, ain't never gonna be perfect and nothing. Just family.
We are not. That is exactly correct. But I wanted to mention that is because one of the fundraisers that the convention committee is doing is we're having a comedy show.
Ooh, that's nice.
Because comedy, I believe that God gave us laughter. The Bible calls laughter medicine.
Absolutely.
We need to laugh, people.
That's easy. But can you imagine black culture without Richard Pryor and Moms Mabley and what's the genius out of Ohio himself? Dave
Chappelle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would be miserable. I'm like, we
would snap. We would snap. We go crazy.
Especially, I did want to ask about the SNAP benefits, but that just makes me so angry that we have a president that would be willing to say the courts order you to open it, and then you say, no.
I know.
I can't imagine that type of evil, because that's what it is. It's just plain evil. It's no other word for it.
It's just so cold-hearted, mean-spirited, callous, indifferent. It's evil.
Yeah, it's just plain evil. And the fact that people are like, oh, well, I went off on this. And this, I promise, will be my last question, because I wanted to put some levity in there. I'm like, does he wear any other color besides black? Do you have a t-shirt?
T-shirt under, yeah.
No, not an undershirt, like the one t-shirt I have for your campaign.
Oh, you mean like well, I have some, but I never just wear them. I always have what I have on. I always have my armor.
Yeah, because I sure thought you were gonna say you jog every morning.
Oh Lord, no. Lord, no.
You participated in a marathon.
Oh, we just had the New York Marathon. Now 26 miles and 0.2 miles. Lord, can you imagine? I was a long distance runner when I was little. I used to get up early in the morning, me and my brother, and run 5 to 10 miles. And my brother had such a good time with you. And I appreciate that.
He did.
He had a magnificent time. And I told him, I said, you got a good time with Sister Tracy. He said, I can't wait. And he called up. He said he had such a wonderful time. But he was one of the greatest track field.
And I know your nickname.
This generation.
I know your nickname growing up.
Oh, from him.
Yes, he told me. I was like, do all your names start? Because he was talking about siblings. And I said,
Right,
well, do all of your names start with the letter C? And he
right.
called you Corn. And I was like, do you mean Dr. West?
Exactly, exactly.
Yes, he gives me such uncle vibes. I'm like, can I call you uncle? I
There's
so
nobody
enjoyed.
like it. Nobody like it. If I can be one half the human being he is, I would not have lived in vain. I can tell you that.
I mean, of course, I love you too, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, because you call everybody brother and sister, but like him, I just had like this immediate
That's beautiful.
connection. I was like, oh, you give me uncle vibes. Because
Uncle Five, that's beautiful.
my mother has what? There were 12 of them, 6 brothers, and now there's only 3 of them left. So I don't have that many uncles
Oh,
left.
oh yeah.
So I'm like, you give me uncle
Lord,
vibes.
Lord. Are they in Ohio or in different places?
My uncle lives in Columbus, Ohio. As a matter of fact, I went to see the hotel where we're having the convention at, and I stayed the night at his house.
Oh, okay.
But he lives in Columbus. But all of them were born in Indianapolis.
Wow, wow.
All of them were born in Indianapolis.
Good
I'm like,
God Almighty.
well, since my other uncles are gone, can I just put you in a placeholder? And I hope that your brother doesn't get offended by me saying.
Oh no, he embraces it. He would be blessed and happy and joyful to embrace you as a niece.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I'm like, do you prefer this one or this one? But I wanted to get back on serious terms, so somebody's gonna say she's not serious. As you know, starting January 1st, no, starting January the 22nd, there's going to be a lot of changes to this podcast that you're talking about, that you're on now. Number one change is we're moving to Thursdays.
Oh.
For several reasons. But when I move to Thursdays, I want to ask you this question. Would you be willing to come on the show with you and your brother and your spouse?
Absolutely. All 3 of us. We would love it.
Yes, because for the rest of the year until our last show this year is December the 13th. Then I go on a 3-week vacation, then make a big deal about my birthday, which, by the way, my birthday is January the 4th, 2026. I will be 52 years old.
Wow. January, right after the new year, huh?
Right after the new year. And the reason I mentioned that is because I'm doing another fundraiser for the JFA convention. But it won't be televised because I'm just basically calling all of my family members and saying, hey, I need money for this. Give me this, sign this, do this.
Mercy. Lord have mercy. God
that's
bless.
what I've decided to do for my birthday.
God bless you. God bless you. Well, you just let me know which Thursday. And Anahita, of course, she sends her love and respect to you. But
yes,
she and I would be on together, and then we'd have Cliff from Sacramento. And we could have the 3 of us with you.
Yes, I would love that. And you're not a grandparent, are you?
Oh, yeah.
You're a grandparent? I've never heard you talk about your grandchildren.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Oh, no,
Are they?
I got a son and a daughter, and I got 1 grandson.
Oh, how old is he?
So I've been very blessed. Let me see. My dear brother is, my grandson's 29.
Oh, so he's up there.
Oh, Lord, yes. Lord.
Because
my son is 48.
Oh, so he's younger than me.
My son was born 1977. And you were born which year?
74.
74. So no, you're 3 years older than him then.
Mm-hmm.
He's born 77. So 74, that's right, you're 52 and he's 48 right now. He'll be 49 next year. That's right.
Yeah, he and my brother were both born in 77.
All right.
Because my brother is the only person my dad had 6 children, 5 daughters, 1 son. And
Wow.
my brother's the only one that's younger than me.
Wow. He's a
And
baby.
yes, but he doesn't think he is. He thinks because he's the son, he can. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. But yes, he is the youngest of all of us, and he's the only one that's younger than me. Everybody else is older. But um, I forgot my question. I know I wanted to ask something else, something important. I would like for you to give those who have questions about the Justice for All Party, or those that may want to run for office with the Justice for All Party, or those that are just so tired of the Democrats, so tired of the Republicans, give them some encouragement. That's the word I'm looking for. Give them some encouragement about where you see the party going.
Well, I would say to them that if they're tired of all the lies and crimes of both parties, if they acknowledge how corrupt the two-party system is, I would highly encourage them to come our way and give us a look and try us out and see what you see and say what you say and see the ways in which we're committed to truth, justice, and love.
Thank you so much, Dr. West. You do not know how much I appreciate. This has been a long week for me. And like I said, I want to thank you, especially. I've been talking about this basically since Thursday. I kind of outlined my schedule. Thursday, I started off with a phone bank training. Friday
Mm.
was our 80s trivia night. Last night was our virtual scavenger hunt, and you took us out the way that we needed to with your encouraging words, and I greatly appreciate that. Are there any last things that you want to say?
I just want to say I salute you. I look forward to our next dialogue sometime next year. And I'm going to be saying a prayer for you on January the 4th because you are a force for good in a mighty, mighty way. And just hope you stand strong. Just hope you stand strong.
I'm
Lord,
going
Lord.
to do that, and I'm still not going to run for office. I'm telling you.
Well,
I'm stubborn. That's my other bad quality. I'm very stubborn. Once I get an idea, I'm like, not gonna let it go. Nope, nope.
but
But
but but the wonderful thing is, you serve a God that's bigger than you and me, and we just don't know.
this is true. This is true. The last thing I want to say before I play the outro, remember everyone, we are still in the need of fundraising captains. It's only
Mm.
2 to 3 hours a week. Our goal is to raise $100,000 to lower convention costs. We're trying to get those as low as we possibly can. We need at
Mm.
least 3 fundraising captains. Um, if you are interested, let me put up that link here very quickly before we go, because again, we are in need of this. This is one of those immediate needs that we have. And I'm going to find it here. Right there. There is the link. I'll leave it up there for a little bit so you can take down the address. 2 to 3 hours a week. Um, Definitely sign up. We meet well, we normally meet on Sundays at 7. Um, but we can be flexible. But definitely if you got 2 3 hours a week to spare, we need those fundraising captains and we need them immediately. So please consider that. Um, I'm going to let's see. Queen. Run, Tracy, run. Tracy only runs when she swims for exercise. So that will be the only time I'm running for anything. That will not happen. Um, mm, mm, mm. It's just, I can't see it. Yeah, I don't see it.
We shall
I
see.
don't see it.
We
But
shall see. But you know what I tell folk when they say, Brother West, how come you running? I say, I'm running for Jesus. I'm running for justice. I'm running for the people. Now,
but
in the case of Sister Tracy, she's running for Jesus. She's running for justice. She's running for the people, but she's not necessarily running for office yet. Is that fair?
That's fair. I'm always gonna run for Jesus. Point blank and the period.
That's exactly it. That's bottom line. That's bottom line. But I know I got to run, but I salute you. Love you now.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to play the outro. I'm going to get some sleep, rest up. We'll see you all Saturday. Have a great one, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much.